In 1962, Nelson Mandela was sentenced to life imprisonment by the South African government. He had opposed the apartheid system of South Africa. He would serve 27 years of his life sentence until 1990, when F.W. de Klerk had been elected South African president and set about undoing the effects of apartheid. Mandela's release was ordered, and he was a free man once again. However, in 2009, a strange phenomenon was noticed. Author and researcher Fiona Brome had discovered a strange phenomenon. People had believed Nelson Mandela had died in prison. A significant amount of people nonetheless. This mass false memory was dubbed the Mandela effect, and it can be noticed in many examples in pop culture now. But what is the Mandela effect? What are some explanations? How does it work? And is there something darker behind this phenomena? What do you think, Bob? Yeah, that's what I thought. Put simply, the Mandela effect is a phenomena where a large group of people remember things or events or details differently from how they actually occurred. This is different from one individual's memory being fallible because the Mandela effect is defined by the fact that it is a large group of people who misremember something. These people tend to have no particular connection to one another, which is what makes the Mandela effect so curious. How can a large group of people with seemingly no relation whatsoever have the exact same false memory? So, in regards to Nelson Mandela and his supposed quote-unquote death in prison, a large group of people misremembered that. They believed Nelson Mandela had died in prison, even though he had thoroughly lived out his sentence. Although Nelson Mandela is the origin example of this phenomena, there are many examples in pop culture, almost too many to count. So here are 3 quick examples of the Mandela effect in popular culture and media. Do you remember the famous ending to Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back? Luke and Darth are dueling, one-on-one, mano-a-mano. Luke is struck down and screams at Darth Vader, "You killed my father," only for Darth Vader to respond, "Luke, I am your father." Well, that didn't happen. The actual quote is, "No, I am your father." However, the vast majority of people, when quoting the line, will say Luke. Another example. Are you familiar with Fruit of the Loom? They make undergarments, and their logo is a large table of fruit placed in a cornucopia, a horn of plenty. I remember it. I'm sure you do too. However, there is no cornucopia. It's just the fruit. Finally, there's a large group of people that believe Jif peanut butter is actually Jiffy peanut butter, and remember it as such. And now it's time to ask why. Why do so many people remember something that didn't happen? Maybe it's some kind of alternate reality and a large group of people have just managed to slip through some kind of a wormhole to a different world. Maybe there's some massive government conspiracy, altering the minds and the memories of the public for some darker, more sinister purpose. Considering what the government did during MKUltra, this isn't out of the realm of possibility, at least in an explanation for this kind of event. However, some believe it might just be time travel. People from a far distant future coming back to alter things, or people being thrown through time just to come back to a world that's slightly different than they remember. Could any of these be true? Unfortunately, and most likely, no. The human mind is a very complex machine with a lot of moving parts. And the more moving parts the machine has, the more likely the machine is to fail. Or at least have a few rougher edges. One of the popular theories as to the actual explanation of the Mandela effect is cognitive dissonance. When confronted with conflicting information, one may adjust their memory to resolve the discomfort of holding 2 conflicting ideas, thus creating a whole new memory. Another example is the misinformation effect. Follow me in this hypothetical, if you will. Imagine you're at a carnival. You're watching the performers on the trapeze do their routine, and there's a gentleman doing backflips with a top hat on. Later, you you go home and watch the news, and they're doing a report on this carnival. And they report the man doing the backflips on the trapeze was wearing a party hat. Now, in your brain, you could have swore that guy was wearing a top hat. But the report says he's wearing a party hat, so he must have been. This is the misinformation effect, where one is exposed to incorrect information after the event, and thus their memory is altered. To resolve the incongruency, finally, there are just false memories. As I said earlier, the human machine is fallible. The brain can remember things wrong, or even create memories that never happened, leading to widespread misconceptions. Often, these false memories are just a result of suggestion. But I don't know. There's a part of me that still wants to believe in something as fantastical as parallel universes being intertwined via wormholes or large-spread government conspiracies. There's a part of me that wants to dare to dream of something more fantastical in this world. And that part may be hopeful for no reason, but it's still hopeful. I don't know. What do you think, Bob? Yeah, that's what I thought. I think we should go.